and it's called Solar, and it's by Ian McEwan, and it talks about a Nobel Prize winning physicist,
That's all right.
who's
it's hard to get get your tongue around that. Physicist, yeah,
who's sort of like washed up.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
His career's
and he's
over.
sort of like trying to, get
back on track?
Yeah, trying to sort of work on his, he's got a bit of a reputation, so he's trying to use that as much as possible to get back.
To rebuild his reputation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the problem is, his name is Michael Beard, that's the character, that he's a compulsive womanizer, and he's on to his 5th marriage, which isn't working.
Maybe you should give up, I think. Fifth marriage.
But this time she's the one having the affair.
So he's getting a bit of his own, so to speak.
Yeah. So it's about his greed and his self-deception, and after sort of reading a bit of that, I thought that sounds really interesting.
It does sound like something for everyone.
It's actually called Solar because it talks about global warming and all sorts of things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
so there's sort of a bit of that thrown in. But the writer, Ian McEwan, he's the guy who wrote Atonement. Now, I absolutely loved Atonement.
Oh, okay.
So that was the other reason why I thought I've got to read this next. And he's a London author.
Okay.
The next one is a non-fiction.
So we're moving on to non-fiction now.
And it's Jana Vent's new book.
Oh, Jana Vent.
Yes, and it's a book called Nice Work.
Okay.
And as we all know, she's one of Australia's popular journos.
Absolutely, and a leading woman in her field.
Yeah,
back when
she's 54,
Yeah, because she was the first women journalist in Australia on 60 Minutes.
That's
so,
right. Yeah, but she looks pretty good for her age.
Even though she had a lot of wardrobe changes on 60 Minutes, it doesn't matter. She was still the first woman.
But what she's investigating in this book is the reasons behind why people do certain work.
Oh, okay.
So she's trying to find out, why are people motivated to do certain things in their work? So she follows a really interesting group of people. She follows a boxer trying to come back on the scene.
Okay.
She follows a maverick priest, a CEO whose company is riddled with scandal.
Oh, wow. So they're all actual real people.
Yeah. A forensic anthropologist investigating a murder.
Oh, wow. I like the sound of this. Very interesting. Yeah.
And she just, through the book, she witnesses their successes and their frustrations and, their ups, their joys and their, the things that go wrong.
Right.
But, yeah, it's just a portrayal of modern work life.
Wow.
Yeah,
that sounds very interesting.
It does, doesn't it?
That would have been interesting to write and research as well. Because
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say it was like her memoir or something.
No, she's done that already.
But an update or something like that. Yes. What I've been doing since my last memoir.
No, she's sort of invoking her journo genes.
Terrific.
And actually gone off and investigated this topic.
That sounds very interesting.
Yeah. So anyway, besides being the first female on 60 Minutes, she was also the youngest ever journalist.
Wow.
On 60 Minutes.
Because she started out as one of the news anchors. I think it was Channel 10.
She was on Channel 10.
That's right, yeah, on Channel 10.
Yeah, and then she moved to Current Affair in 1988. So
that was after 60 Minutes, yeah?
And then she came back to 60 Minutes in 1994.
Okay.
She was their American correspondent. Yeah.
Okay. She's very accomplished in her field.
She is. She's won the Gold Logie before.
Oh, well, listen, if she's won the Gold Logie, then come on. There's nothing more that needs to be said. Go and buy that book. She won a Gold Logie. Nothing more needs to be said on it.
That's right.
So that's just the name of the book again, Jackie?
That one is Nice Work by Jana Vent.
And has that been out for long?
No, these are all new.
So these are all new releases?
Only
terrific.
a few weeks old.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got, I thought I'd do history. Not many people sort of...
some people like history.
I know, but if you're buying a gift, you don't really think about history.
No, you don't. Not unless you're very aware that someone's... I have a friend, he's actually my brother-in-law, and he loves things to do with World War II. So, if you ever buy him a book on World War II, you're set.
Yeah. Well, this I thought would be quite inspirational for some women because it's called First and Only Women, and it's written by Lynn Santa Lucia, and it's an account of some of history's most inspiring women.
Okay.
It talks about a woman pharaoh who ruled as a king, not as a queen, is one of the people she
Wow.
covers. So
That's different.
yeah, she sounds like she would have been a strong woman.
Absolutely.
And then
It's the yarn event of her day.
exactly. And then there's Europe's first professional female writer.
Does it say who that was?
That is Christine de Pizan.
Okay.
Yeah. Then there's a lady's, her name is Valentina, but I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce her Russian surname.
Right.
But she was a Russian astronaut in 1963, the first woman in space.
Wow.
So she talks about her in the book. And she also covers athletes and politicians and scientists and artists and educators.
cross-section.
Yeah, even criminals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So-
a shame. Oh, she hadn't put criminals. Never mind.
Well, she says it's a celebrity of some extraordinary women who have singularly and collectively cleared a path for other women to follow.
And often the first woman who, in any field that is, really any field other than probably teaching or something, they really did get a tough time quite often. Yeah, really did.
That's right. So Lynn Santa Lucia, she's an author predominantly of magazines. You know, she
Okay.
writes magazine articles and she's
A non-fiction writer.
Yeah, and also an editor.
Okay.
I'm not sure if this is her first book, but she's a New York-based writer.
Okay.
And I just thought that one sounds, I mean,
Especially
even
for
if you're
Mother's
not,
Day, for, women. So I actually quite enjoy reading things about, women that have achieved being the first in whatever field that is, because I think that's a very brave thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, and I thought, look, the pick of the bunch for gardening, it has to be from the ground up. Now, you had an
Yes.
interview with Jane last week.
I did last Thursday, and she was absolutely wonderful to interview.
Yep.
And the thing that just came across to me so much during the interview is that she loves gardening.
Oh, she does. She's so passionate.
Oh, she is. And I mean, a lot of people, it may sound, of course, if she writes a book about gardening and she's got her television show on the ABC, but even though she's been doing it for years and years and years, she still loves gardening. And I think that's just great.
Well, she came to our store on Friday, and I mean, on her way to the store, she stopped at a kindergarten in Sunshine, and she spent a couple of hours setting up a veggie garden with a whole lot of 4 and 5-year-olds.
Terrific.
I mean,
yeah.
that's true passion.
And it's also passing on that passion that she has to the next generation, which I think is a great thing as well.
Yeah. And anyway, I just looked, there's quite a few gardening books in the store, and, they're all have merit, and they're all, but I don't know, I just think this one it's a beautiful looking book.
It's got great photos.
Yeah, and also there's no books that I've seen that have come in the shop that are specific for Victorian gardeners. So it's just fantastic for people who are just, struggling with growing things in their garden. At least it's going to grow.
Well, one thing that was interesting, because we were just talking about gardening in this area, and I was saying it was the clay soil, and everyone says, clay soil, you can't grow anything. And she said, no, that's not true. You've just got to prepare it and know what to plant in that soil. She said it actually is quite good soil because it holds the water. So again, it's, even though someone says, oh, no, you can't plant anything in clay soil, it's really just like getting a book like that, that it explains to you what you need to do and what plants will suit that.
Well, it was really good on the day she came into the shop. A couple of people brought in some plant samples. It was really cute. And one particular woman, her mum lives in Ballarat, and she actually mailed her the plant sample, and then she kept it in the fridge for a few days until Jane was around. And it was all really well orchestrated. And while Jane was talking to her, she was asking her questions. And she goes, hang on, I've got to ring Mum. She was asking her, is it a deciduous tree or, whatever?
Yes.
And she goes, oh, I don't know. Hang on, I've got to ring Mum. So it was very interactive.
But isn't it good, though, that she's quite open to giving that some advice?
And she knows a lot of people. People were just walking past and saying, oh, I saw you here and I saw you there. And she was very good at recalling. where she met
terrific.
certain people and stuff.
Oh,
So,
great. No, she was very, she was good to interview, very
Yeah.
open. So that book again is called?
From the Ground Up.
You're listening to Creative Corner with Denise, and tonight, of course, is Book Chat with Jackie.